Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, judges, and teams from all other universities in Hong Kong. We are CalmSense, and we're here to redefine mental health care. So before we dive into our very interesting product, I would like to give a little backstory about our main character, Brian. So Brian is a 30-year-old man that has been living in Hong Kong for a very long time, and he has been working for the finance industry for around a decade long. And similar to many of his colleagues, he has been facing the extreme problem of very high workload, with 60 to 100 hours worked per week. And other than that, he's been facing the problem of inaccessible mental health care support, with an extreme amount of financial stress from other expenses or other part of his life. And other than that is the long waiting time that we've talked about. Is that many of these sort of residents, they have failed to have access to these sort of public mental health care or public therapist support. So now let's look at the bigger picture. Around 90% of the residents in Hong Kong actually face the exact same problem. And this is beyond the finance industry. When we look at the education system, many of the secondary school students or many of the university students also face the exact same problem, with only 15% of these sort of people actually seek for mental health care support. So why is this the case though? So we can look at the key concerns here. So first of all is that it's at an extreme amount of price. One therapy session actually costs around $2,000, and other than that is that there's an insufficient or limited number of therapists in Hong Kong, as well as the long waiting time that we have mentioned previously. So now we face this exact problem, is that how can we address the sort of prevailing or increasing stress level in Hong Kong with a product of achieving 3 different goals. First of all is that it has to be accessible 24/7. Second of all is that it has to be cost less than 1 therapy session. And the third of all is that it has a personalized service, is catered to every individual in Hong Kong. Introducing CalmSense, where we're looking into an AI companion app providing all of these sort of support, as well as eliminating the problem that we have mentioned above. So we also aim to achieve the financial goal of capturing and retaining all these sort of customer segments. So now I'll hand it to one of my teammates to talk a little bit about our core technology.
Thank you. So CalmSense has to have 4 excruciatingly important features. The first is that it has to be convenient to wear and has to be easy to wear. It has to be comfortable so that people can wear it for long durations of time. The second is 24/7 monitoring. In order to provide most excellent data about your mental state, we need continuous monitoring for a long period of time. And finally, we need early intervention. So by analyzing appropriate and relevant pieces of data from the EEG signals, we will be able to provide early interventions by therapists or psychologists or other experts. And of course, it has to be personalized by curating the machine learning model based on your own data. So we're dividing our solution into 3 technological modules. The first is the hardware, which is composed of biopolymers so that it's sustainable and easily degradable. The second module is the machine learning model, and the third is the smartphone app. The hardware itself comes with, is going to be equipped with STM32, wireless enabled with Bluetooth Low Energy 5.4. This will allow us to transmit data from the Bluetooth headset to the mobile application. Along with that, in order to power the headset, we will be using lithium-ion battery from NAMI, which is quite efficient, and it also has been used in existing pilot projects. Finally, in order to acquire data and make it cost-effective, we'll make a trade-off between the EEG channels. We'll equip it with 3 dry EEG, 3-channel EEG electrodes, so that there is no chance of invasion. And it will also be equipped with around 1 megabyte flash for data storage. The mobile app itself is built with industry standard technologies like React Native and Expo. You can see the product, the demo here. It's quite simple. We have the mobile app there. It measures essential frequency bands for the EEG data. EEG is electroencephalogram data. So we have different frequencies, for example, delta, theta, alpha, beta, gamma. These range between, let's say, 4 to 8 hertz, etc., and so on. And each frequency band is a feature for our machine learning model. The entire process of our solution works as the wearable companion, our BCI, brain computer interface headset. It tracks your EEG data by continuously monitoring your brain signals, and it sends that via Bluetooth to the mobile application. The mobile app then sends that data to the cloud. We have a machine learning model deployed on the cloud, and it sends the request with the following features. The machine learning model itself has been trained on open source EEG data that we have acquired and given due credit as well. You can see that we show appropriate charts along with a mental state, a nice verbal mental state sort of tag label, which allows users to be able to determine where they are at. I would now like to pass on to the mic to my teammate Kashish.
Let me tell you how we stand out from our competitors. Firstly, our 18-hour-long battery life means you no longer have to worry in the middle of your workday about charging. Secondly, our AI, our technology doesn't just provide generalized insights. Instead, it reads your signals in real time and makes any changes necessary. Lastly, and this is our biggest competitive edge, unlike our competitors that react to stress, we prevent it with our predictive alerts, and we would be able to know in advance if a stress levels are going to spike and there's a high chance of an anxiety or a panic attack. So our calming protocols can come into place right away, like guided meditation or a sleep time story. So what is the market opportunity, you may wonder? 1.5 billion people worldwide are suffering with anxiety, depression, or burnout. Just in Asia, individuals under 30, that's 529 million people. If we can capture just 1%, that's already 5.29 million users. So the market opportunity is huge. And we will access this through two main channels. B2C, where our e-commerce partnerships with Amazon or the Apple Store, as well as our own website, we'd be able to sell our hardware, our headset, and as well as at retail partners such as Fortress and so on. So our revenue will also come from strategic partnerships with schools and corporations for their wellness programs. Our upfront costs for R&D and marketing, you may wonder how we are covering them. So we are targeting 5,000 users in pre-orders. So in that case, we would be able to generate a high revenue, but this is only so that we can cover our upfront costs, and we would only be profitable in our 4th month. We are expecting 41% year-on-year growth with 700 customers added per quarter. We're happy to elaborate on the progression timeline during the Q&A. CalmSense is more than just a product. It is a movement. Let us change the mental health world together. Thank you.
The working principle is based on the EEG signal detection. But to my understanding, the EEG signal is quite weak. So how can we ensure the accuracy of the detection?
After going through existing research papers, our team determined that even though EEG signal themselves is quite weak, therefore there are different levels of EEG detection. You've got dry channels, you've got wet channels, and you've also got invasive surgery. But EEG, no matter the given options, EEG is still the best one that stands out. And if we're able to make it cost effective, then even then, because this is not the most precise or the most exact solution. In fact, such a solution would not only take a lot of capital and effort, but that would also be technologically challenging. So this is, in our opinion, currently and by far the most effective solution that we can provide within our capacity.
Do you consider high accuracy electrode development?
We can consider that, but then for instance, based on my current knowledge, accuracy increases with more EEG channels, with more electrodes, right? And the cost of each electrode is also quite substantial. So what we could do in the future is we can have different tiers of products where we have different models, and each model is equipped with more electrodes and comes with a greater accuracy, but then it will also be priced at a higher cost.
About the longer duration of the battery, 18 hours. So may I know about a little bit more about the weight and the size of your, because when you have a battery of bigger size, longer duration, so will you be too heavy to carry, or what will be the design? And the charging time
To
as well.
give you a good estimate of the design, you can think of it as a Bluetooth headphone, right? Because headphones are a product that a lot of us wear on a daily basis. They're substantially bulky as well, and we wear them on a daily basis for sometimes longer duration, right? So that's the closest analogy I can give to our own product. The addition of a battery does make it, because it has to be a long-lasting battery, it does make it difficult and inconvenient to wear. But that's why we feel that by having smaller microcontrollers, for example, STM32, it's very tiny, along with 3-channel EEGs, they're also quite tiny. So by sort of spreading out and ensuring that some places, some components are very light and easy to wear, we can sort of balance it out into something that's convenient. Again, we do not have a hardware prototype yet, so we cannot estimate the exact comfortability of the product, but we estimate that it should be decently comfortable for people to wear on a long basis.
Thank you, HKUST. Thank you.